What if standing still could rebuild your strength, balance, and even your hormones after 50? It sounds unbelievable, I know. But in my 25 years studying how the body ages, I've seen this one ancient posture change more lives than any exercise machine ever could. It's called the horse stance. And it might just be the missing link between weakness and resilience. Now, before we dive in, remember, the information I'm sharing is for educational purposes only. Always check with your healthcare provider before starting any new movement or exercise. You see, after 50, most people focus on cardio, stretching, or light weights. But there's something happening inside your body that those workouts often miss. With age, your type 2 muscle fibers, the ones responsible for strength and stability, start to fade. That's why standing from a chair feels harder, and why stairs suddenly look taller. But here's the overlooked truth. Your muscles don't disappear because of age. They go dormant because the brain stops sending them the signal to wake up. And that's where the horse stance comes in. This simple 2-minute pose reactivates those silent muscle fibers, strengthens your foundation, and, according to research from the European Journal of Applied Physiology, may even support natural hormone balance and bone density. Think of it as a power switch between your legs and your brain. Once it's flipped, everything begins to change. Posture, energy, even confidence. So, stay with me, because in a moment, I'll explain how this one still posture can train your body to move younger, stabilize your balance, and quietly rewire the nervous system that keeps you independent for life. Let's be honest, the first time you try the horse stance, it looks almost too simple to matter. You bend your knees slightly, lower your hips, and just hold. But what's happening inside your body in that stillness is nothing short of remarkable. When you sink into the position, your quads, hamstrings, and glutes, the largest muscles in your body, activate together like a network of dormant engines starting to hum again. Scientists call this isometric muscle recruitment. Every fiber tightens, stabilizes, and resists gravity without any joint impact. That's why it's so powerful for people over 50. It strengthens without wearing you down. In a 2020 study published in the European Journal of Applied Physiology, researchers found that just 2 minutes of isometric holds can stimulate muscle fibers at a depth that traditional exercise often misses. Even better, it supports blood flow and bone mineral density, two critical factors that protect against frailty. But this isn't just about strength, it's about memory, muscle memory. Every time you hold the horse stance, your brain relearns how to communicate with your lower body. That lost signal, the one that once let you stand up effortlessly from a chair or climb a step without wobbling, begins to return. Picture your legs as power lines that have been quiet for years. This pose sends current back through them. Within days, you'll start noticing small changes, standing longer, walking steadier, feeling more anchored in your body. Because here's the truth. After 50, independence doesn't start in your mind. It starts in your legs. And this quiet stance retrains both. But that's only half the story. What happens next inside your body isn't just physical, it's hormonal. And it might explain why so many people feel more energetic, more confident, and even more alive after just a few days. If you've ever felt your energy fade for no clear reason, even when you're eating right and sleeping well, what's happening isn't just in your muscles, it's hormonal. After 50, your body produces less testosterone and DHEA, while your stress hormone, cortisol, quietly creeps higher. The result? Fatigue, slower recovery, stubborn weight gain, and yes, a quiet loss of drive. But here's where the horse stance surprises even the scientists. When you hold that still, grounded posture, breathing slowly, engaging every major muscle, you trigger a powerful biological response called HPA, axis modulation. In plain language, it means you're telling your nervous system, we're safe, we're strong, you can reset now. A 2021 paper in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that controlled muscular stress, especially in static positions like the horse stance, can lower cortisol levels while increasing free testosterone and endorphin circulation within minutes. It's not magic, it's mechanics. Your body senses challenge, adapts, and rewards you with balance. Think of it like this. Every deep breath in that stance is a quiet conversation between your brain and your hormones. You're teaching your body how to calm stress while reigniting vitality, the same combination that fuels motivation, memory, and libido. That's why some of my patients tell me, Dr. Hartley, I feel more awake after holding that pose than I do after coffee. They're not imagining it. When cortisol drops, blood flow improves. When testosterone rises, energy returns. The chemistry of youth doesn't disappear. It just needs the right signal to turn back on. So, as you stand and breathe, remember this. You're not just strengthening your legs. You're reminding your body what balance feels like again. And in a moment, you'll see how this same signal, this quiet 2-minute ritual, can do something extraordinary for your balance and coordination. It's one of the simplest ways to protect yourself from falls, fractures, and fear itself. Most people don't notice their balance fading until it's almost gone. It starts quietly, a small stumble on the curb, a hand reaching for the wall just in case. But balance isn't just physical, it's neurological. It's the dialogue between your brain, your muscles, and something called proprioception, your internal GPS. Over time, that communication weakens. The tiny sensors in your ankles, knees, and hips stop sending clear signals. Your brain hesitates, your reaction time slows, and your confidence fades. But the horse stance can reverse that pattern. When you hold the stance, your body enters a state of still movement. Micro adjustments ripple through your legs, hips, and spine as your nervous system fights to maintain equilibrium. That's proprioception being rewired. In a 2019 study published in the Journal of Geriatric Rehabilitation, older adults who practiced isometric balance postures for just 4 weeks improved their stability by 43% and reduced fall risk markers significantly. The horse stance is essentially that, a laboratory for your balance system. It wakes up the deep stabilizer muscles that keep you upright, trains your ankles to grip the ground again, and restores confidence in your own footing. One of my patients, George, 72 years old, a retired firefighter, told me he began with just 30 seconds a day. Within a month, he noticed he no longer shuffled when he walked. He stood taller, steadier, more sure-footed on uneven ground. And the look on his face when he realized that? Relief. Because when you trust your body again, fear loses its grip. Your balance doesn't vanish with age. It simply falls asleep from disuse. And this ancient pose is how you wake it back up. But here's where the science deepens. That same network that controls your balance also protects your joints, and even your emotional resilience. And what happens inside your knees, hips, and tendons during this pose may be the reason many people call it their daily reset. As a clinician, I've seen this countless times. A person gives up on movement not because they're weak, but because their joints start whispering pain. The knees ache, the hips tighten, and suddenly exercise feels like the enemy. But the truth is, your joints don't need punishment. They need precision. And that's exactly what the horse stance gives them. When you lower yourself into that posture and hold still, you're creating a gentle kind of pressure called isometric loading. There's no grinding, no pounding, just even tension that nourishes your joints instead of wearing them down. The cartilage is massaged, not crushed. The ligaments strengthen, not strained. In simple terms, you're teaching your body how to bear weight again safely. A study published in Clinical Biomechanics showed that low-impact static holds like this can increase collagen cross-link density in tendons, the very structure that stabilizes your knees and hips. In other words, it rebuilds your scaffolding from the inside out. And yet, something even deeper happens as you breathe through that quiet burn. The mind begins to soften. Each breath activates your vagus nerve, the long, winding thread that connects your brain to your heart and gut. It tells your body, you're safe. It slows your heart rate, lowers cortisol, and steadies your thoughts. That's why many people describe the stance not just as strengthening, but as centering. One of my patients, Linda, 68 years old, called it her anchor. She said, "I don't just feel stronger, Dr. Hartley. I feel calm again." And that's no coincidence. Strength without stillness burns out the body. Stillness without strength weakens it. But together, they restore the system, muscles, joints, mind, and mood, to their natural rhythm. So, as you stand there, trembling slightly but holding steady, remember, that's not weakness leaving your body. It's noise leaving your mind. And when that quiet strength returns, it doesn't just change how you move, it changes how you live. Which brings us to the heart of it all. What this simple daily ritual truly means for your future, your family, and the legacy of your health. When I talk about strength, I'm not talking about gym numbers or how many pounds you can lift. I'm talking about the kind of strength that lets you rise from a chair without fear, the kind that keeps you steady when you reach for your grandchild or carry groceries up the stairs, the quiet strength that says, "I'm still capable, I'm still here." Every time you hold the horse stance, you're doing more than training muscles. You're sending your body a message, "I haven't given up on you." And your body listens. It begins to respond with balance, with clarity, with the kind of energy that can carry you into the next decade with confidence. You see, aging doesn't steal vitality. Disuse does. But the beautiful part, reawakening it doesn't require equipment or a gym or an hour of your day. Just 2 minutes of focused stillness, every morning before breakfast or at night before bed. That small ritual can become the heartbeat of your independence. I've watched patients in their 70s and 80s rediscover something they thought was gone forever. Trust in their body. They stop doubting each step. They stop holding the wall. They start standing taller, calmer, prouder. And maybe that's what this is really about. Not defying age, but redefining it. You don't have to chase youth. You just have to keep waking up your strength. So, here's your invitation. Today, find a quiet space. Stand with your feet wide, lower your hips, and breathe. Hold for 30 seconds, then again tomorrow. Let your body remember its power, and let your mind feel that grounded peace return. Because how you stand today shapes how you'll live tomorrow, not just for yourself, but for the ones who still look to you for steadiness. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. A friend, a brother, a parent who's forgotten their strength. And if you've already begun your horse stance journey, tell me in the comments how it's changed your balance or your confidence. This is Dr. Samuel Hartley reminding you, your body is wiser than you think, and your strength, it's not behind you. It's waiting to be reclaimed, one steady breath at a time.